Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Conscious Nonsense. My name is Jiawei. To start this channel, it takes a lot of courage, but I'm glad I finally sit down and press the record button. And so here we go. Maybe before I explain what this channel is about, a short introduction about myself as well. My name is Jiawei. I'm from China, but I live in Berlin, here in Germany. And I have a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 9 to 7 job, corporate job. And yeah, sometimes I found introduction, like self-introduction, can be tough to do now. Reasoning being, I start to think about all those social labels that I have been putting on myself. Which one are really true? Which one are really representative for me? So maybe let me start again. Hello, my name is Jiawei. I am from China, so I have a traditional Chinese background, a Chinese kid. I've been living in Europe for 10 years now. I'm now in Berlin, Germany. I am a curious person. I like to explore things and trying to understand the underlying logic of how the society and how the world basically function. I like relationships. I like finding or exploring, understanding myself through the relationships I'm building with my surroundings, with my friends, family. I'm very emotional. In a way, I appreciate being fragile, being vulnerable, because I felt the world has been, or the society trained us to be more protective, and most of the time, authentic ourselves are actually hidden behind our face or behind all those social labels that we put on ourselves. We live in all forms of expectations that those social labels have given to us, no matter that is a loyal lover or a reliable coworker or a good friend, a good son, or someone is kind to people, anything. I think over time, when I start to become more honest about myself, about how I feel, I start to see things maybe was not allowed in all those social expectations. And that's where I started my journey as someone who is curious and eager to understand myself and the surroundings. So conscious nonsense, what does this mean? I really felt in this modern world, me included, most of the time we're running as like program. We're running like autopilot. We run into or we go into different situations, making different decisions, not being able to consciously aware how we actually feel, how our body actually feel, and made those decisions. So I want to become more conscious, and that's kind of my goal. And I think over time, I have been more conscious of how I feel, how things are happening within and outside. And so I want to basically share the whole journey with people around me. Conscious. Yeah. Now I'm here in Berlin with my cup of lemon ginger tea for very nice winter here. Well, it's super cold. It's -10 today. Well, if I'm wearing t-shirt, it's because it's warm here inside, but like outside it's very, very cold. So yeah, I don't know where this channel will lead me, but I'm very excited to start this journey and to finally being able to start. This is not actually my first time trying like vlogging or like recording. I did my first try back in COVID in 2021. So when the measures start to cooling down, like we were able to travel again. I started to making those travel videos with a simple idea back then, like because you start to hear about the people on YouTube making millions of euro for those stupid videos. Like, why can't I do the same? But obviously, I made uploaded a few videos. I probably get like 20 followers after like 4 or 5 videos. And yeah, so I was like demotivated. Also like, like I had a 9 to 5 job, which I need to calm down a little bit. Just give me one moment. I found it's not very easy to speak in front of camera, especially like do those self-talking just with a chain of thoughts and talk it through. I don't even know if I will be able to do this, honestly. Like, I feel my English has improved a lot over last years, but I've never like done English public speaking for extended period, like a long period of time. So it's also a mini challenge for myself. Yeah, I'm a little bit scared, but we will find out. I know I have everything I need. Conscious nonsense. So, as a first episode, what I want to talk about is New Year. How's everyone's New Year? It's week 1, the first week of New Year. My New Year hasn't been great so far. So I went to Prague on 2nd of January, so the Friday, with a friend. So we drove all the way from Berlin to Prague to have a long weekend trip over there. And my friend was like seriously sick on the day we arrived. So essentially I was there alone. I mean, not alone, but like was because he had to rest in the hotel. So I was there just to explore the city myself, and I had a great time. Prague is super pretty. Like, it's a small city, but I think what I really liked about it, there's small, I wouldn't say mountains, small hills, and also river along the city. Somehow I have a deep connection with city that has some water, like either it's a beach or like a canal, or like any city with the water. For me, it's like just some weird connection. Was really beautiful. I definitely want to go back to Prague, and the food is amazing. Honestly, and compared to the price, like it's probably cheaper than Berlin most of the time, but like with like better quality of the food. But then, I came back on Sunday, which I was still fine. I even went to gym on Sunday. I went for like 7 kilometers run, did a sauna, was super nice. And on Monday, I went back to work, and I started to have fever, like fatigue. So I guess I got flu, which turned out really, really bad. So this week, actually, I just suffered the whole time fighting with this flu. Um, but it's also the time where I start to realize how much deeper connection I have already generated with my body. Um, I yeah, trying to bring my awareness back. Um, yeah, so on the first day I was still fine because I was still working. I also had a few meetings on Monday, and then on Tuesday things start to get a bit weird. Like I start to have a little bit like light fever, like very dizzy, headache, like short breath. All those really bad symptoms. Like I could not even focus, right? So the symptoms also continued. I think it peaked on Wednesday, day 3, and on Thursday, the headache went away, but like still have other like fatigue, muscle pain, like breath issue, and then on Friday I was able to function again. Basically, every day I'm trying to like understand what how like the signals my body is trying to give me, right? I I start to understand a bit better on, like for example, when I have fever, I don't take it as a bad sign. Obviously, it's a sign that your body is fighting with something, but what actually happens within my body is, okay, there's a virus entered my body is alerting the whole immune system. We need to turn up the temperature to fight with the virus. And then I start to understand why I have like headache, why I have like shorter breath. Obviously, those are like a painful experience or body reaction. But if you look into deeper on those reaction, it's because your body's fight is having a fight with the virus. It's not really bad. Like I was actually very excited for my body. Like, oh yeah, actually, you know what, you are doing great. You are like protecting yourself. I'm so proud of you. And what do you need? How can I help you to fight with this virus? And then what my body needs actually just like more sleep, more some vitamins like to help them to sustain, or energy to help them sustain. So I kind of like to really give them more time, give them the things they need to have a real fight with those virus. And guess what? I won. Yeah, I won. So on Thursday, the symptoms start to go away, and now it's Sunday. I'm all okay now. And so yeah, this is really a real-time connection that I had with my body throughout this tough week, where being able to more understanding on the pain, on what my body is going through, and understand the signal my body is giving me. Being able to, this is like an experience I had all the time. Like, I feel my body is just really a machine. I don't know if that's the right word. My mind is someone else, but my body is something for my mind being able to function, or conscious to be able to function. So having the dialogue between my body itself and the conscious, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe this way. Like, okay, the virus got into my body, which is like they are reproducing themselves rapidly to take over my body. And then my body realized, okay, there is something weird going on. We need to heat up the temperature. We need to start a fight with those guys. Those all happening inside my body, which isn't my brain able to be much of aware or be much of making decision or not. Those all just happening instantly. But what I start to taking more aware or taking more control is I realized my body start to having those reaction, and I being able to understand the signal my body is giving me that, hey, we start to fight with those virus, and I need you to collaborate with us together. That is where my conscious mind can actually help to, for example, like to drink more water, to stay hydrated, to not to consume too much energy, and to drink some vitamin, have some vitamins, like, to give what my body actually need. So we are like a united same system together. And that really helped. And there's another thing, which is also connected with my body and the connection I had with my body. So it was yesterday. I was like steaming a bun with my steamer, obviously, and accidentally, like, the steam burned my arm. I don't know if you can see. There's still a sign here. And yeah, essentially it was really painful, right? But then I start to, not shout it loud, but like I spoke it loud. Oh, it's okay. Then I start realized, oh, I was talking to myself again as an outsider. I was a bit surprised. Like, I didn't say, oh shit, oh damn, this happened, but rather like, oh, it's okay. Oh, don't worry. Oh, you're fine. I actually do this a lot. Now start to realize, yeah, I actually do this a lot. I just suddenly realized that I had a very, I don't know how to say this. It feels like I'm a baby, which sometimes I get hurt, or sometimes I have, like, things, and I am able to standing outside of this human body, being able to take care of them. Yeah. So when I got this burn, obviously the instant reaction is it was painful, right? It hurt, and I feel like, oh, painful. But I could tell myself, it's okay, you are safe. It's not a big deal. Yeah, really be gentle. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Another thing I was really proud this week from this sickness is also I was able to push back, well, not push back, postpone some of the meetings that I have while I was sick. I think on the one hand is I start to read my body more, like I know my body needs some more rest. I should not, exhaust my body even more while I was super sick, give the time for my body to recover. But in the meantime, there were a few meetings that are in my calendar that like work meeting, I wanted to do. So this reminds me back when I was in my first job. Like this was already 7-8 years ago. I was like, oh, it's actually during COVID. Like first time I got COVID, right? I was really badly sick. I was on like paracetamol, like on painkiller. And I was doing my monthly close, like at work. I was like, now if I think about it, right, like how crazy I was, like I was suffering, my body was suffering, but I was not able to read my body and even give my body more stress. So yeah, so I was really proud. Like this time I could actually prioritize how I feel, prioritize my body, give them what they need, rather than prioritize work, which there is always room for, yeah. So yeah, I am very proud what I did this week. Obviously, work is still there. I still need to do those. But having, like not saying, if I really think a little bit deeper, right? I felt like no one probably, or none of my coworker or boss would have the expectations ask me to perform during my time when I'm sick. It's really myself having this expectation to myself, being a great employee as a, yeah, I should deliver what's in the calendar, what's in the agenda. I should. But it's not true, right? It's not true. I don't know how this really well, this, oh, this is really interesting. I don't know how the first episode will actually become. But I'm very proud I started this journey. Yeah, I'm very proud. I still can feel there are a lot of fractions, a lot of, not a lot, but some fear and concern. But drink tea. But things doesn't need to be perfect when you start. Conscious nonsense. I think the idea of conscious nonsense is I can and I am allowed to talk nonsense. But I really want to stay conscious. I want to be aware what's going on within myself. I want to make more conscious decisions for my life. So this is my journey. Yeah, to be honest, stay honest with myself, stay honest with how I feel, and then yes, we are already there. And this is inspired by a vlogger, like an influencer I know, like Chinese influencer Yimen. Yeah, I think I can have a whole episode talking about her because she really gave me a lot of inspirations on where, to become who I am today. In her channel, when she, doing podcast, she always like to end the podcast with a song. So actually, in this episode, at least in this episode, I also want to end up this episode with a song that I want to sing. So the song is 推开世界的门. It's a Chinese song. Basically tells you to open the door to the world. I think this is also my New Year resolution. I do have a list of things actually I want to try this year, but I think the key thing I really want to start working on is really open the door to the world through new experience, through new emotions. Well, not new emotions, but like through new experience, and to feel, to think, and to inspire and be inspired continuously. So let's get it started. I need to look at the lyrics. Just hold on a second.推开世界的门，你是站在门外怕迟到的人，捧着一颗不懂计较的认真，吻过你的眼睛，就无畏的青春。推开世界的门，你是站在门外怕迟到的人，捧着一颗不懂计较的认真，吻过你的眼睛，就无畏的青春。左手的你呀，右手的你呀，只记得花衣裳。世界本该是爱醒来的模样，左眼的悲伤，右眼的倔强，看起来都一样。原来你就是我自负的胆量。推开世界的门，你是站在门外最孤单的人。捧着一颗不懂计较的认真，路过你的时候，世界多残忍。Thank you so much. Yeah, this is my first episode. Like you probably say, Conscious Nonsense is gonna be a video podcast. Which the audio version will be distributed through podcast channel as well. I wanted it to be a weekly update, but meanwhile, I'm also scared, I'm probably gonna drop off some point. But either way, I'm super happy, super excited, super proud that I really get started. I'm very excited to see you guys next week. Cheers!